And so as we move into leadership pearl number 3, I just want to play, I guess, are we doing okay on time? So we'll skip the video, but I want to tell you about these two men here. This is Sergeant Jose Saenz, Sergeant Ronald Rodriguez. These are two men I deployed with. I spent about a week and a half with Sergeant Jose Saenz during our training exercise in 29 Palms, and I worked directly for Sergeant Rodriguez prior to deploying. Sergeant Saenz was actually, so he was killed in action early August, I think it was August 15th, 2010, in the Kajaki district, Afghanistan. And it happened on a foot patrol. And essentially what happened was they were patrolling through an area where it was an unsecure area, but they hadn't really been through this area before. And plain and simple, Sergeant Saenz, while he was not positioned at the front of the platoon formation, he moved to the front of the platoon formation as the platoon sergeant, because he essentially said, we don't know where we're going, so if anyone's going there, I'm going there first. Unfortunately, that was the thing that ultimately led to Sergeant Saenz being killed in action. And Sergeant Rodriguez, who was not on deployment with us, he was actually back at Camp Pendleton handling logistics operations. He was called up to replace Sergeant Saenz. And I actually met up. So I worked directly for Sergeant Rodriguez, except I left with the deployment unit. He stayed in the remain behind unit. And so it was kind of a pleasant surprise to catch up with Sergeant Rodriguez at one of the main transit hubs in Afghanistan when he was just kind of coming into the country after having not originally supposing to be on deployment. And, you know, we caught up for a little bit, and he's like, actually, I'm getting rerouted over to Kajaki, because he was originally being brought out to handle a logistics issue. But because Sergeant Saenz was killed in action, Sergeant Rodriguez was rerouted from this logistics position up to the Kajaki district to take over the vacant post of Sergeant Saenz. Not 2 weeks later, for the exact same reason, Sergeant Rodriguez, leading from the front, stepped on an explosive landmine and was killed in action. And so the reason I want to tell you about these two men
in combat, you will get
the principle of illustrating that leadership needs to lead and let lead. Good leadership knows when to lead from the front, and good leadership knows when to lead from the back, and also when to get out of the way. And the guiding principle of this that I think you can ask yourself is, am I leading from the front to protect my juniors, or am I leading from the back in order to give my juniors room to demonstrate their proficiency and grow without me? If you are leading from the back because you're scared to get hurt, or you're leading from the front because you're scared to let your juniors grow beyond you, then you should really take a hard look at the motivation of your leadership, because good leaders have confidence in themselves, and they know when to let people grow and when to protect people, because I think that's a key differentiating factor between good leaders and not so great leaders. And then also I put some pictures here of Kyle Dake. For anybody who doesn't know, I got the opportunity to spend a semester on the Cornell wrestling team with Kyle Dake, who is a 4-time NCAA national champion in 4 different weight classes. He was the first person to ever win 4 titles in 4 different weight classes. He also went on to win the world title after graduation. And he used to say this thing all the time in the wrestling room, was fake it till you make it, which sounds kind of terrible, but his whole point was, you don't wake up one day a champion, right? You train like you're a champion, and then you become a champion. And that's, I think, falls very in line with this idea of being a junior leader, right? Act like a leader even when you don't hold the position of being a leader. You don't wait until somebody taps you on the shoulder to say, okay, you're up. Now it's time to lead, because you need to be prepared to step into the leader's position the moment they go down, because you don't get 30 days notice that somebody is going to go down in battle. You get a split second to see that the leader's gone down and I need to step into that position. So you train like you are in charge, and then when you get that opportunity, you seize it with a vengeance. Hey everyone, Ryan Rad here from neurosurgerytraining.org. If you like that video, subscribe and donate to keep our content available for medical students across the world.